Hey, Bourbon family, welcome back to Whiskey Phoenix, where smooth is optional and fire is mandatory. I thought I would do something a little bit different. Got to thinking about this last night. It's like I went over my top 5 distilleries for 2025. I went over my top 10 bourbons for 2025. And I got to thinking, it's like, which ones didn't I care for very much in 2025? And that's what I'm going to make this video about. I looked over my spreadsheet. Y'all will get to know me well enough to know that I love my spreadsheets. I've already talked about it and how I'm going to approach it in 2026. So, and there were 9 that were really just either I didn't like them, there was one I didn't like at all, and the other 8 were really just okay. So let's dive in and see which ones were just okay for this Phoenix in 2025. My first one, and I've done a review, let me double check myself, but I'm pretty sure 2 out of these 3 I have done reviews on. Nah, it doesn't matter. So the first one that was just okay for me, and I picked this up at my favorite place, the Party Source. It's the Fire and Flask, Didium, I think is how they pronounce it. It's the purple corn from veteran-owned husband and wife team, I guess you could say. Well, the husband's a veteran, the wife is not. And I was intrigued with it just for the sole fact that it was made from purple corn. I think it's the only bourbon that is, to date, produced with purple corn. And while it was just okay, I mean, it was a little smoky and dark fruit on the nose, kind of sweet with some brown sugar and the dark fruit on the palate, and there was like this smoky sweetness and a slight molasses on the finish. Coming in at 100 proof, again, it was just okay. I wanted to try it. I was new. It was one I picked up on my own. I didn't know anything about it, and I tried it, and it's okay. I think some of that might be is because it's only aged for like maybe a year or 2. So I'm not saying I won't circle back around to Fire and Flask at some point in time, but I don't think anytime soon, or at least in 2026, I will not be adding another bottle of that to my bourbon collection. These are in no particular order, family. I'm just going with the way my spreadsheet sorted, and here's the first 3 that came up. The next one that I felt was just okay was the Forbidden Single Barrel. Now, the only reason why I picked this one up from the Party Source is because they had it on sale. It was like under $100. And I did a little bit of research while I was at the Party Source to be like, I've not heard of this before. Well, I thought it was really cool that this comes from Kentucky's first female master distiller, Mariana Eves. I think I'm saying her last name right. And the fact that she sources her juice from Bardstown. So, if you guys saw who my number 1 distillery was of 2025, this might come as a shock to you that I'm not real thrilled with this particular mix of Bardstown's distillate, so to speak, with this Forbidden Single Barrel. Am I glad I picked it up and tried it on my own? Yeah, I am. But this was another one that was not recommended to me. It was something I picked up on my own. I mean, it was kind of sweet on the nose, a little bit of vanilla. It was really light on the palate with some baking spice and citrus, and just the finish was just, I think what might have done it for me is it was too oaky, if that's a word, and some baking spice on the finish. So it just kind of came in at okay for me. Again, I'm not disappointed that I picked it up. It was one that I picked up on my own. These are probably some of the rare misses that I personally had in my first year of my bourbon journey in 2025. So, it's bound to happen, right, fam? And then finally for this video, and I know you all are going to be shocked by this one particularly, considering Again, who my number one distillery was for 2025, and this is the Bardstown Origins. It's just a white label. It's their Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. Comes in at 96 proof. On the nose for me, it was like earthy more than anything. A little bit of like a whiff of caramel and maybe like, I don't know, stone fruit like a peach. On the palate for me, it was just, I don't know. It was really syrupy. For as much as I love like French oak and the hint of creme brulee and spice that I got on it, I think the syrupiness of it kind of put me off a little bit. The finish, it was like meh. I got a touch of honey, there was some lingering vanilla, but it was just overall really short. So it just came in at okay for me. That one was one that I picked up on my own because I had another bottle of Bardstown, and I'm like, well, they can't go wrong, right? I'm going to love all of them. Wrong. See what happens? Just because they're my number one distillery doesn't mean that everything I try for them is going to be something that I like. So, yeah, there's 3 out of the 9 today, fam, of bourbons that I picked up that I just felt were just okay. Did you pick up any that you didn't like in 2025, fam? If you did, drop in the comments and let me know, because I definitely want to avoid them in 2026. Oh, happy Friday, fam. Is it Friday? Damn, I am lost on these weeks. Yes, it is Friday. Happy Friday, fam. I hope you are having a good day. Happy Friday, happy Fry, however you want to say it. But anyway, if you are partaking on this Happy Friday or Friday, please drink responsibly. And remember, stay sharp, stay burning, rise again, and I will see you in the next one.